Let's start off this podcast with the jar of names. There's a lot of names in this jar of names. There's quite a few. Right, let's pick one. I'm going to go for this one, which seems to be hidden. Right, so this podcast is for everybody, including but not excluded to a Findrill. Right, okay, so let's start this podcast. It's episode 38. It is the week 38. And I'm going to start this cup of tea with podcast because there's a cup of tea in the podcast. I've got the cup of tea here. Have you got yours? I'm going to start it. It's got honey in it again this week. 2 spoonfuls of it because it's like 2 sugars. Anyway, so this is a cup of tea podcast, week 38. If you want to skip ahead into this episode, you can skip to the topic of Pokemon, to the topic of the update. You can also skip to something about the new Let's Play. You can also skip to this week's question. And that is it. Right, shall we begin with what we had last week and what we are expecting this week? So last week we had a Cup of Tea podcast, episode 37, 13th of the 4th, 2015, Overlord 2, episode 33, 40k Warrior Man's Minion, Admiral Chopstick, the Legion Looter, Harvest Moon, Back to Nature, episode 8, O'Reilly, the Mining Buddy, Overlord 2, episode 34, Dark Tornado, Harvest Moon, Back to Nature, episode 9, Happy Birthday Dear Ellie, Overlord 2, episode 35, Evil Has Found a Way, the last one, and Try Something Random, episode 4, Complimation 2. Right, and what have we got this week? Which, let me just say, it is a bloody miracle that I've managed to do all these this week, but I have, and I'm very proud about that. We'll talk more about it later. So, we've got a Cup of Tea podcast, episode 38, 20th of the 4th, 2015, which is this. To later today, we have Harvest Moon, Back to Nature, episode 10, Nick Pro's Chicken Nick. That's obviously because Overlord 2 is finished. That's why it's out on Monday. And then tomorrow we have the new Let's Play, which is Oddworld New and Tasty, Episode 1, An Odd Kind of Breakout. Wednesday we have Harvest Moon Back to Nature, Episode 11, Paragon Gaming's Chicken Cap Cluck. And then Thursday we have the next episode of Oddworld New and Tasty, Episode 2, Freedom, which I believe is probably the best of the 2 episodes we've got this week. And then Friday we have Harvest Moon Back to Nature, Episode 12, Sprouting Seedling. And we've also got the Try Something video of the weekend, which we'll talk about at the end with the hints. Right, so where do I go from here? I believe it's into the update, is it not? It is into the update. Yes, it is. So last week, Overlord 2 was finished on the Friday. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. It was great fun. So much fond memories of Overlord. And hopefully it'll be an Overlord 3. It will continue the tradition of Overlord. I can't see what else that hint is going to be from Triumph Studios and Codemasters, so what else is it going to be? It's got to be Overlord 3. It can't be anything else. So hopefully we'll have more of that in the future. But then that means that since Overlord 2 is done, there's some changes to the schedule and the changes to the new Let's Play. And the new Let's Play, as I've just said, is Oddworld New and Tasty. It's a great little game. I got it for free. It's sort of an indie game. I guess it was back in the day. It's a remake of an original PS1 game. I talk more about this in the first episode. So if you want to check it out, let me know what you think about it and see if you like it. But it's a great game. I'm enjoying it. I can see there's going to be lots of times with frustration and annoying things for me. But it's quite an interesting game. It's a nice little hidden things. I didn't mention this in the playthrough, in the Let's Play episode, because I didn't see it. But in episode 2, there's a point, I made it a bit louder so you could hear it, but listen out for it. One of the guards, the Sligs, he said, "If I only had a bum," which, if you think about it from the Wizard of Oz, when they said, "If I only had a heart," I thought it was quite funny. It's just a little hint thing that I didn't pick up on the time, and I heard it when I was editing it. It's amazing. Hopefully there's more stuff like that in the game, and I'm really interested. The story is quite good as well, so yes. Hopefully that'll be good. Right, so that's the new Let's Play done. Obviously, updates to schedule, because Overlord 2 is finished. Harvest Moon gets game at 1 slots, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then the new Let's Play starts on Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Tuesday. Yeah, so that's the new schedule. And what else happened this week? A recording fail. What happened was, I had a friend come over on Tuesday. That doesn't really have any relevance, because that didn't affect anything at all. But Tuesday, I recorded Harvest Moon. No, I didn't. Something happened, I think. I think it might have been that. It might have thrown me off, my friend coming around. But for some reason, I only managed to record one episode, which is the one later today, of Harvest Moon Back to Nature, which I did. And then I was going to record it the next day, in the daytime. I was going to record the next one the same day, but at the night. For some reason, I didn't manage to... I did. I only recorded Harvest Moon on Wednesday, which I usually do this game too, which would be an Oddworld. But I recorded Harvest Moon on Wednesday as well. However, it corrupted. I have no idea why, but it corrupted. No, I do know why. It's because I tried to record from the PS4 the day before, so I was ready, and I had to install new drivers and get a new software for it to record it. And because I did that, it made for some reason it made the recording I used to use. Whenever I recorded with it, it just corrupted the files and didn't work. So I couldn't use my old recorder, and that's what happened. I did all this footage, but it didn't tell me until the very, very end that they all corrupted. so I had to do it all again. But of course, because I saved in 3 slots, I had to reload. I could only reload so far, so there was 1 day I missed, or 2 days technically. So I had to sort of replay up to that point, just so I could show you the things that we missed, which were a few events, which I'll explain about in the playthrough. So if you're watching Harvest Moon, you'll understand what you miss and what you don't miss, because I put it in. But it was a pain, and it pretty much threw me off this entire week, which means I didn't obviously record the last... Well, Oddworld was obviously recorded Harvest Moon on Thursday, Oddworld on Friday instead, after I got back from work. So I was still tired. Usually go to sleep when I get home, just a little nap. I couldn't do that, so I'm absolutely knackered. And obviously I stay up until the latest I can go, which is like 2, which is still less than what I should be getting sleep-wise. But I managed to get it all done. I managed to edit it all, which I'm really proud of. So I still managed to beat this week's... Well, not this week's topic, but I still managed to beat my target of getting these done by today. So you have all the names ready for you, which I think is perfectly a very good achievement for myself. I'm very happy with that. Very proud of it. But that's that done. Also, this week's pictures. I did say about last week we'll have pictures of things I've taken in the week with my new camera. What have we got? I need to find them because I'm not sure what they're called, which ones they are. Yes, obviously my friend came round, so we went out and about. We went down to... it's like a nature reserve, I found out what it was called. It was like a little place where there's a waterfall. Where we picked the flowers and for Mother's Day. We went down there. And the leaves. We went down there, but I didn't realise there was well, I knew there was a big bridge, but I didn't know what was over the big bridge. We went over the big bridge, and apparently there's like miles and miles and miles of this nature walk stuff. So we went down there and took a load of pictures. So one of the pictures is a swan on the lake, which I thought was quite nice. There was also this picture of this really green grass. I was amazed by this grass. It's so green. It's like from a movie or something. It's so green. It's amazing. But it was lovely. And there was also this like a... The contrast to that, brown grass, it's like a boggy place where it's like a marshland. It's quite boggy down there, but I think it's a nice little picture. It's beautiful. And there was also a picture of some moss and some nettles, because I like taking close-ups of stuff like that. So there's your weekly one of them. Well, that's probably not weekly. Yes, and obviously the other pictures are from this week, last week's Try Some video. But that's that. Okay, right, topic. This week's topic is Pokemon, as I said. I don't know why. I think it was because that walk made me think of Pokemon, like going out in the wild and capturing Pokemon. So I just wanted to talk about that. I've always wanted to do a Let's Play of Pokemon game. Like, I used to watch something called Scottish Duck, who, you know, his advice for doing Let's Plays was never do a Pokemon game, which I was going to break because I wanted to do it, but obviously that was before I did the copyright, and I know the copyright you can't do, because in order to do a Nintendo game, you have to become partners with Nintendo, specifically through their program, which I couldn't do, because apparently they only accept a very few channels, and only channels if you don't have multiple playthroughs of other games on it. It's like really strict rules to get into this program. So I probably won't be able to do a Nintendo game for a while, or at all, because even some of the big YouTubers aren't being able to do it. But I would love to do it, but I can't do Pokemon games. But I'd love to. But that's what I just wanted to talk about. And there's also a question related to Pokemon today as well. But yeah, I've always loved Pokemon. I love the games. Never really got into the card series. I have got some cards, but I never got into the card series. But loved the films, the TV shows, and the games. Well, the games I was quite late getting into. I got into Leaf Green and Fire Red, which I played when it first came out with a Game Boy Advance, which it didn't have the backlighting, so you have to sort of shine it in the light to play. And so many good memories. I know I went for Bulbasaur first time. Not many people go for Bulbasaur, but I did. It was a female Bulbasaur, I remember, because I was gutted when I found out at the end it was a female. I was like, I wanted a male, sort of match my own gender. But, that little Bulbasaur, she treated me right. Right, okay, what else to talk about? Yeah, more about Pokemon later in the question for today. Book club. So, I'm reading, well, pretty much on the last chapter of the Last Wish, the Witcher book. I'm very nearly finished, which is amazing. It's not the last one, it's the second to last one. The last one is The Last Wish. Is it? No, it's A Voice of Reason, so like I said last week, where it's an occurring chapter. That's the last one, but the second to last one is actually called The Last Wish, which is the name of the book, which is like the biggest chapter. And it's where the Witcher, Geralt, meets Yennefer, which we hear about in the games, but I don't think you actually learn about in the games, so it's quite interesting to find out who she is and how they met, and it's interesting. That's all I can say. I won't spoil it, but it's good. You should read. If any book I would recommend Dan Brown books, or this one. This one is amazing, which is fantastic. Right, anyway, that's that done. Let's go on to community. So this week's community section, first off, is the Mention Monday. These are the people that commented on last week's videos. If you want to get in the Mention Monday, or you'll get your name in the jar of names, please place a comment between now and next Sunday. Right, so we have Mr. Domic98, 40k Warriorman, S. Pataraki, Hollier, Dragonlord 55511, Afindril, Esther Ogendagabi, and Binder Dundat. Right, Dundat, that's a nice name. Dundat. It's like, yeah, I've done that. I've done that. That's nice. I like that. Right, what else have we got then? Q&A. Lots of questions this week. There's not been many comments this week at all, really. But the quality of this week's comics are amazing. Like, there's loads of questions, there's loads of interaction between everybody. It's amazing. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. Next week there might be a lot of things because there's a new Let's Play, so there might be a lot of comments. Anyway, so 40k Romance says, what do you think of the new Netflix show coming out for the How to Train Your Dragon series? I didn't really know there was one coming out, I don't think. I did check out the trailer when I read your comment. And all I can say is the Dragon TV series, the intros and the trailers for them are absolutely terrible. They really are. Like, they don't really give you away anything. Like, it looks good from the trailer from what I've seen, but it doesn't give you away anything. Like, I'm guessing they go to the end of the world, considering the name is the end of the world, or to the end, to the edge or something like that. So, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, it looks interesting. I'm sure it'll be good. Like, I love everything Dragon, so it'll be fine. And S Pataraki, who is also Nick Pro, I didn't mention that earlier, but it is Nick Pro. But S Pataraki says, how many countries have you been in, and how many would you want to be in? What have I been to? I've been to England, obviously, and I've been to France, and that is it. I would like to go to all of them if possible, and if my dreams do come true, so to speak, I would like to make videos of going to those places in the future, like proper vlogs and stuff, but we'll see how well that goes. Hopefully, it all works out. So you might be able to join me. My Lord of Dragons, Dragonlord55511, says, hello, Sir JD. I have a question and a riddle for you. Question. If you could be one of the Lords of the Rings / the Hobbit races, like a man, elf, dwarf, hobbit, orc, etc., what would it be? That's a fantastic question. Especially with, obviously, last week's Triton video where I did the Gandalf thing. That was quite fun. Very topical. Right, so what would I like to be? I wouldn't mind being a dwarf, like with all that the sort of lore behind it. Like, obviously, elf has a lot of lore behind it, but I don't think I'd like to be an elf. Elves seem a bit too lore. So I think I'd rather be a dwarf or something like that. But the only thing with dwarf is I don't like the height thing. Like, I think in that sense, I would like to be like a man. But then, obviously, they don't have the big lore behind them. They have some lore, but not as good as a dwarf. So maybe a dwarf. Yes, I'm going to say with a dwarf. Yeah, why not? Let's go with a dwarf. Right, and the riddle is, what can you catch but not throw? Hint, you often get this in winter. I think this answer, if this is it, is amazing. Is it a cold? You catch a cold, but you don't throw a cold. You get it in winter. I think that's right. I'm sure you'll let me know. Anyway, Dragonlord55511 also asks, hey JD, ever thought of doing Dark Souls, The Hobbit, for 2003 PlayStation 2 version, or even the Elder Scrolls Online Oblivion Skyrim? I have thought about doing the Elder Scrolls game before. Horror wanted me to do it, and 40k Romance, I think. I will be doing them, but I want to do them from the beginning, like starting from Arena and working my way through. I might be doing something fairly soon with Arena. I need to sort of plan it out, and that might be out quite soon. I'm not sure when, so don't hold me to this. But yeah, I'll definitely try and do them. Skyrim, obviously, will be a very big game for me, so I'm still playing it myself. So if I do a Let's Play, it'll be bloody amazing lengthwise. And Oblivion I've never played, so I'll have to sort of think about that. But yeah, I have thought about doing them. Dark Souls and the Hobbit 2003 version, I know what those are. I did play part of the Hobbit 2003 version. I would have to try and work out if I can do them, like see who owns the rights to them and see if I can do them. But I'll definitely look at it. I've added it to the subscriptions list, so I'll have to let you know. Right, that's all questions done. What is after questions? Or Q&A, sorry. Subscribers. This week's subscribers, we've gone up to 1,018. It's good, it's gone up. But we have 3. I'm not sure, obviously, numbers don't work out, but we've got 3. We've got Neve Bale, Jenna Pearson, and I can read that. I can read Hebrew. Or Google Translate can, at least, anyway. And we've got Legonas4444. Right, so thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the team. I need a cup of tea. Where is it? Here we go. Right, questions after this. What was last week's question? It was what you would want to cut out of the Harvest Moon Battle Nature videos just to see what you would like. And S. Pataraki, who is Nick Bro, says, cut out the villagers. It's boring. Yes, I do tend to do that. Sometimes I keep it in if it's changed, but yes. I will cut that out, don't worry. And this week's question is, what is your favourite Pokemon? Like, this is the whole thing that sort of started the Pokemon topic. I would have to say my favourite Pokemon is, it's quite unusual. I'm only going to go from the original 151, because those are the best. But my favourite one would be the Pidgey series. Like the Pidgeot and Pidgeotto, or however that series, however that goes in according to evolutions, like which one is which place. In order, that's it. I like that series because, like, Pidgey is quite a common one, but then you go to the next one, which I think is Pidgeot? I think it's Pidgeotto. Yeah, I think it is, and it's Pidgeot's the last one, yeah. And then Pidgeotto is still quite common, but not quite as common as Pidgey. But then no one really seems to evolve it all the way to the max, which is Pidgeot. which I think is amazing. Like, I just love those bird Pokemon. I love them. That's my favourite Pokemon. Yeah, so what's yours? Right, what's after that? Not much more left, I think. No, that is it. Those birthdays, if you have a birthday, let me know what it is, and I'll add it in. No one really seems to bother, though, so we'll see what happens. Right, but this week's outro is obviously week done. This week's goal of the week is the same as last week's, because, of course, with everything going wrong with all the recording fails, I didn't manage to start quarter 2 planning yet. So that's the same goal as last week. Goal of the week, start quarter 2, which should happen, hopefully, assuming nothing bad goes wrong, which it probably will. But we'll see how happens. See how bad it is and see if I can do it. Right. What was last week's hint? Last week's hint was actually wrong, because it was Sibling Rivalry episode 9. There was loads hidden in that, which was something. I won't tell you what it was, but there was something in there. But I changed my mind last minute because I realised it was going to be a big big mountain to climb to try and dip the other one out. So I decided to change it for the one that it was, which wasn't to try something random one. So obviously I changed it last minute. So you can go there and try and find out what the one will be sometime in quarter 2. I think it's in the second month, so whatever second month is, what is it? May, I think it was. But of course, next week's video is going to be a very hard hint, because it's just going to be more of a suggestion about what it's going to be, in case you might want to know. But it's going to be a request that one of you have made. It's going to try some video, so it's not going to be a game. So if you're watching this, it's not going to be Dark Valentine, sorry. But it's going to be something else that somebody else has made. I can't really say who it was, because that might give it away. But yeah, but it's going to be a request that someone has made, and I'll probably make some changes to the actual video because of that. Right, okay, I think that's that done, so I'm going to have a sip of tea, finish my cup of tea while I say goodbye. Right, that's that done. I will say goodbye. Morning in Paris, the city awakes to the bells of Notre Dame.